Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Speaking Nerds channel. We are absolutely thrilled to have you here with us today. I'm Maya.
And I'm John. This is the place where we don't just teach you textbook English. We dive deep into the real stuff. The idioms, the culture, the nuance, and the way people actually speak when they aren't reading from a script.
Exactly. If you love learning English that connects you to the world, please support us by hitting that like button and subscribing to English Speaking Nerds channel right now. It helps us keep creating these long-form conversations that we absolutely love making for you.
It really does make a massive difference. And today, we're tackling something that I think is both the most important and the most challenging aspect of language learning. We're not just teaching you words today, we're teaching you how to be human in English.
That's beautifully put, John, because here's the thing. You can know 10,000 vocabulary words, you can conjugate every verb perfectly, but if you can't tell someone how you actually feel, if you're stuck saying, I'm fine, when you're not fine at all, then you're missing the heart of communication.
Absolutely. And I've been thinking about this a lot lately. You know when someone asks, how are you, in the elevator or the hallway, and you automatically say, good thanks, even though you might be having the worst day of your life? Why do we do that?
Oh, that's such a fascinating question to start with. I think there are layers to this. First, there's the cultural script, right? In English-speaking cultures, especially in professional settings, how are you isn't always a genuine question. It's more of a greeting ritual.
It's almost like saying hello, but with more syllables. The person asking doesn't necessarily want your life story. They're being polite. So we respond with the socially acceptable answer. Fine, thanks. You?
Exactly. But here's where it gets interesting for language learners. If you always say, I'm fine or I'm good, you're missing opportunities to actually connect with people, because when someone genuinely wants to know how you're doing, a friend, a family member, someone who cares, and you still say fine, you're building a wall.
That wall metaphor is perfect. Fine is a shield. It's protection. But it's also isolation. And I think for our audience who are learning English, there might be another reason they stick to fine. They simply don't know what other words exist.
That's exactly why we're here today. We want to give you the full emotional vocabulary palette. Not just happy and sad, but the entire spectrum, the subtle shades, the complex mixtures, the contradictions. Because life isn't simple, and our feelings shouldn't be forced into simple boxes.
So let's start with a real question, Maya. And I want you to actually answer honestly. How are you feeling right now in this moment? And you're not allowed to say fine or good.
Okay, putting me on the spot immediately. I appreciate that. Honestly, I'm feeling energized, but slightly apprehensive. There's this buzzing excitement because I love these conversations. But there's also this little voice in my head wondering if I'll explain things clearly enough.
See, that is so much more interesting than I'm good. You use two sophisticated words there, energized and apprehensive. Let's break those down for everyone watching.
Energized means you feel full of energy, almost electric with vitality.
Right, it's that feeling when you've had great sleep, maybe some coffee, and you feel ready to take on the world. Your batteries are charged. But then I said apprehensive, which is different from just nervous or worried.
Apprehensive is such a useful word. It's a forward-looking anxiety. You're not scared of something happening right now. You're intellectually aware that something potentially uncomfortable is coming, and you're mentally preparing for it.
That's such a precise description. And this is what I love about emotional vocabulary. It allows you to be specific. Now, let's talk about the happiness spectrum, because I think that's where most people want to start. If happy is the baseline, what are the words when you're really, really happy?
If I'm at a 10 out of 10, I might say I'm ecstatic or thrilled. Ecstatic has this almost electrical quality to it, doesn't it? It sounds like the feeling, sharp, exciting, overwhelming.
I love ecstatic. There's also elated, which has a similar meaning but feels more like floating. Like your happiness is lifting you off the ground. She was elated when she heard the news.
And then there's over the moon, which is such a common British idiom. I passed my driving test and I'm over the moon. It means you're so happy you've literally launched into space.
That's a great visual. There's also pumped or psyched, which are more casual, energetic terms. I'm so pumped for the concert tonight. These are very American, very slangy.
Those are perfect for high energy excitement. But John, what about quiet happiness? Not everything is fireworks and champagne. Sometimes you're just sitting with a cup of tea, watching rain on the window, and you realize you're perfectly satisfied. What's that feeling?
That's contentment. And can I just pause here to warn everyone about pronunciation? It's content, not content. If you say content, you're talking about the stuff inside something, like YouTube content.
Great point. I am content means I am satisfied with my current state. I don't need anything else. There's no restlessness, no yearning. I'm complete in this moment.
That sounds almost spiritual. There's also serene, which is similar, but has this quality of peacefulness. You might feel serene looking at a calm lake or sitting in meditation.
Serene is beautiful. And speaking of beauty, there's radiant, though that usually describes how someone looks because of how they feel. She looked radiant on her wedding day. The happiness is glowing from inside them.
Now, here's something I want to explore because I think it's crucial for real communication. We rarely feel just one thing at a time, do we? Life is messy. Emotions overlap and contradict each other.
Oh, absolutely. This is where English has some really sophisticated vocabulary. The word I love most for this is bittersweet. It's right there in the name, sweet and bitter at the same time.
Give us an example of a bittersweet moment.
Okay, imagine your best friend is moving to another country for an amazing job opportunity. You're genuinely happy for them. That's the sweet part. But you're also sad because you'll miss them terribly. That's the bitter part. Both feelings exist simultaneously.
That's perfect. I felt bittersweet when I graduated from university. I was excited about the future, but I was also mourning the end of that chapter of my life. Or when you finish reading an incredible book series. You're satisfied with the ending, but sad that it's over.
Yes, that leads us to another beautiful word, nostalgia. Nostalgia is when you feel a longing for the past. It's usually a warm feeling tinged with sadness. You're looking at old photographs and remembering good times that you can't return to.
Nostalgia is interesting because it's not purely negative. There's pleasure in the remembering, even though you're aware that time has passed. It's like a sweet ache.
Sweet ache. That's poetry, John. There's also melancholy, which is related but different. Melancholy is more philosophical, more reflective. It's the feeling you get walking through an empty park in autumn, watching leaves fall.
Melancholy has this literary quality to it. It's not depression, it's a pensive, contemplative sadness without a specific cause. Poets love melancholy.
They do. Now, we need to talk about the other end of the spectrum because life isn't all happiness and wistfulness. We need vocabulary for when things are genuinely difficult. And I think this is where language learners often struggle most.
Because sadness is such a basic word. It feels childish to say, I am sad when something serious has happened. We need gradations of sadness, just like we have gradations of happiness.
Exactly. So let's map this out. If you're mildly unhappy, you might say you're feeling down or feeling blue. Both of these are gentle ways to express low mood.
Feeling blue is such a classic idiom. I use it all the time.
I've been feeling a bit blue lately. It's not dramatic. It's just acknowledging that your mood has dipped.
Right. But if we go a step further, we get to upset. Now, upset is tricky because learners often use it incorrectly. Can you explain when we actually use upset?
Great question. Upset doesn't just mean sad. It's more agitated, more disturbed. If someone cancels plans at the last minute, you're upset. If you spill coffee on your favorite shirt, you're upset. It's a mixture of sadness, annoyance, and disruption.
So it's not heavy enough for serious situations. If someone experiences a real tragedy, a death in the family, a devastating loss, upset is too light. That's when we use words like devastated or heartbroken.
Devastated is such a powerful word. It sounds like destruction, doesn't it? Like a building collapsing. I was devastated when I heard the news. It means you're emotionally shattered.
And heartbroken is so visceral. You can almost feel the heart cracking when you say it. These are words for profound grief.
But what about the gray area? Not devastation, but that dull, heavy feeling where you just have no energy. You're not crying, but you're not okay either.
That might be despondent or listless. Listless means you have no drive, no motivation. You're just lying on the couch, staring at the ceiling, unable to summon the will to do anything.
I've definitely felt listless. It's like your spirit has been drained away. There's also depleted or drained, which emphasize the emptiness.
Those are good. Now, John, I want to shift to anxiety and fear because I think many of our viewers experience these emotions when speaking English. The fear of making mistakes, the anxiety of not being understood.
Oh, absolutely. The butterflies in the stomach feeling. That's the classic idiom for nervousness, right?
It is, though butterflies can be good nervousness, like before a first date, or bad nervousness. But let's talk about more specific words. If you're worried about something in the future, you're anxious.
Anxious is more intense than nervous. It implies your mind is racing, running through worst-case scenarios. You might have physical symptoms, sweating, rapid heartbeat, that tight feeling in your chest.
Exactly. And if you're specifically nervous about something unpleasant that you know is coming, you're apprehensive. There's that word again. Or you might say you're dreading it.
Dread is such a heavy word. It's the weight of knowing something bad is approaching. I'm dreading Monday morning. I'm dreading that difficult conversation.
There's also on edge, which means you're tense and jumpy. Everyone in the office is on edge because layoffs are coming. You're like a tightly wound spring, ready to react to the slightest provocation.
And if you're physically shaky from nerves or caffeine, you're jittery. I had 3 espressos and now I feel jittery.
Now, if we escalate fear to its extreme, we get to terrified and petrified. These are for genuine, visceral fear.
Petrified is fascinating because it literally means turned to stone. You are so scared you cannot move. It's that nightmare feeling where you want to run but your legs won't work.
These are powerful words. Hopefully, our viewers never need them for real situations. But let's talk about frustration, because I think this is an extremely common feeling in the language learning journey.
Oh, yes. Frustration is that feeling when you're trying so hard and it's just not working. You're putting in effort, but not seeing results.
It's like pushing a boulder up a hill, and it keeps rolling back down. You want to scream. And if frustration builds and builds, you might become exasperated, which is frustration mixed with exhaustion.
Exasperated is when you let out that big sigh. I give up. It's the sound of defeat.
Now, we need to talk about anger. And this is delicate because the wrong word can escalate a situation. Anger has so many levels.
At the mild end, you have annoyed or irritated. These are small frustrations. Someone's chewing loudly, and you're annoyed. Your computer is slow, and you're irritated.
Right, these are everyday petty annoyances. If it builds, you get frustrated, which we covered. But if you're really angry, you're furious or livid.
Livid is intense. He was livid when he found out someone scratched his car. It's white-hot rage.
There are great idioms for this, too. You can say someone hit the roof, or saw red, or lost their temper.
Seeing red is that moment when anger takes over and you're no longer thinking rationally. The rage is a red curtain in front of your eyes.
There's another type of anger, though, the cold, simmering kind. That's resentment.
Resentment is poisonous. It's when you hold on to anger over time because you feel you've been treated unfairly. She felt resentful that her colleague got promoted instead of her.
It's not explosive, it festers. It grows quietly and eats away at you.
On the flip side, what about the opposite of anger? The feeling of release when a worry goes away?
That's relief. I was so relieved when I found my lost passport. It's that exhale of tension, like a weight lifting off your shoulders. Now, I want to talk about social emotions, feelings that involve other people. What about loneliness?
Loneliness is the pain of feeling disconnected. And here's something important. You can be alone and not lonely, or you can be surrounded by people and feel deeply lonely.
That's such an important distinction. Alone is just a state. Lonely is an emotion. There's also isolated, which feels more like you're cut off from others, maybe geographically, maybe socially.
And for our international viewers who might be living abroad, there's homesick, that specific ache for your home country, your culture, your family.
Homesickness is so universal. Everyone who's ever lived far from home understands that feeling. Now, what about embarrassment? That's a huge social emotion.
Oh, embarrassment, that heat rising to your face. I was so embarrassed when I tripped in front of everyone.
And if it's really severe, you're mortified or humiliated. Mortified actually comes from a Latin word meaning death. You're so embarrassed you want to die.
I was absolutely mortified. That's for catastrophic embarrassment. But there's also awkward, which is slightly different.
Awkward is uncomfortable, but not necessarily about shame. It's social friction. Like when you say goodbye to someone and then walk in the same direction.
Yes, that is so awkward. Or when you wave at someone who's actually waving at the person behind you.
These are the moments that keep us up at night, even though they're objectively insignificant. Speaking of keeping us up at night, we need to talk about overwhelmed, because I think this is the feeling of modern life.
Overwhelmed is when you have too much to deal with. Too many responsibilities, too much information, too much noise. It's like a wave crashing over you and you can't breathe.
And the antidote to overwhelmed is feeling grounded or centered, when you've found your stability again.
Those are beautiful words. Grounded makes me think of connecting to the earth, to reality. Centered means you found your calm core.
Now, Maya, here's a grammar trap that catches so many learners. The difference between ed and ing adjectives. Can you explain this?
Oh, this is crucial. So if a word ends in ed, like bored, excited, tired, interesting, it describes how you feel internally. I am bored.
But if it ends in ing, boring, exciting, tiring, interesting, it describes the thing that causes the feeling. The movie was boring, so I felt bored.
Never say I am boring unless you genuinely think you have no personality. You are bored
by something that is boring.
This applies to so many words. I am confused by the confusing instructions. I am fascinated by the fascinating documentary.
It's a pattern that once you learn it, you'll notice it everywhere. Now, let's talk about prepositions with emotions, because these can be tricky, even for advanced speakers.
Right, you don't just randomly choose a preposition. They're married to specific adjectives. For example, are you angry at someone or angry with someone?
Technically, both work, but we usually say angry with a person and angry about a situation. I'm angry with John about the mess he made.
We're scared of things, interested in things, fed up with things. You have to learn the combination.
Fed up with is great. It means you've lost patience, you can't take it anymore. I'm fed up with this rain.
Now, I want to test something. Let's do some scenarios, and you give me the sophisticated emotional word. Ready?
Hit me.
You've been working on a puzzle for 3 hours. You can't solve it. You want to throw it across the room. What are you feeling?
I'm frustrated, maybe exasperated if I've been at it for even longer and I'm exhausted from trying.
Perfect. Next one. You walk into your surprise birthday party. Everyone jumps out and yells, "Surprise!" You had no idea. What do you feel?
Well, obviously surprised, but let's go deeper. I'm astonished or stunned. Stunned has that quality of your brain stopping for a second. You can't process what's happening.
Good. Here's a tough one. You're watching a horror movie. You know something bad is about to happen. You're gripping the armrest. What is that feeling?
That's suspense, but the emotion is I'm tense or I'm filled with dread, maybe apprehensive again.
All good answers. Last one. You just had a huge, delicious meal. You're leaning back in your chair, completely full, warm, content.
I'm satisfied. Or if I ate too much, I'm stuffed. But for that feeling of well-being and fullness, I might say I'm satiated or content.
Satiated is wonderfully formal. It sounds medically full.
Before we wrap up, we have to touch on empathy versus sympathy, because these are about feelings toward others.
This is profound. Sympathy is feeling sorry for someone. You're observing their pain from a distance. I sympathize with your situation.
But empathy is feeling with someone. You understand their pain because you've experienced something similar. You're in the hole with them, not looking down from above.
So if my friend loses a job, I might feel sympathy, but if I also lost a job recently, I feel empathy because I know exactly how that feels.
Empathy creates connection. There's a phrase we use, I feel for you. It's a simple way to express genuine care and understanding.
That's such a native phrase. I heard about what happened. I really feel for you.
Now, one more pair that confuses learners, sensible versus sensitive. These are different, right?
Completely different. In many languages, sensible means emotional, but not in English. In English, sensible means practical, logical. It was sensible to bring an umbrella.
But sensitive means you feel things deeply or you're aware of others' feelings. She's very sensitive. She cries during movies. Don't mix these up.
Crucial distinction. So, Maya, we've built an enormous vocabulary today, from ecstatic to devastated, from apprehensive to relieved, from overwhelmed to serene.
We really have covered a lot of ground, and I think the key message is this. You don't have to memorize all these words today. Just pick one. Next time someone asks how you are, instead of fine, try something more honest and specific.
I'm a bit worn out today, or I'm actually feeling pretty cheerful today, or I'm a little anxious about something coming up. These small changes make you sound so much more fluent and interesting.
And they invite conversation. If you say, I'm fine, the conversation dies. If you say, I'm exhausted, people ask, why? What happened? And now you're actually connecting.
That's the secret. Emotional vocabulary isn't just about expressing yourself, it's about building relationships.
One thing we haven't mentioned is tone of voice, which is equally important. You can say the exact same words with different tones and communicate completely different meanings.
Right. If I say brightly, I'm fine, that means I'm genuinely okay. But if I say flatly, I'm fine, that means the opposite. I'm not fine at all.
Or sarcasm. If it's pouring rain and I say, oh, wonderful, it's raining again, I clearly don't think it's wonderful. So, listeners, pay attention to the music of the language, not just the dictionary definitions. Listen to how native speakers stress words, how they pause, how their pitch rises and falls.
That emotional intelligence in language takes time to develop, and that's okay. Be patient with yourselves.
Well, Maya, I think we've given everyone plenty to think about. We've gone from basic emotions to complex psychological states, from idioms to grammar rules, from happiness to heartbreak.
We have. And you know what? I'm feeling quite fulfilled right now. Fulfilled is that deep satisfaction when you've done meaningful work.
I love that you used one of our words. I'm feeling grateful. Grateful for our audience who sticks with us through these long conversations. Before we sign off, we want to give you a challenge. In the comments below, tell us, what's a feeling you experienced recently that you didn't have the words for before watching this video? Can you describe it now using your new vocabulary?
Maybe you felt bittersweet about something, or melancholy, or overwhelmed. Practice using these sophisticated words. Don't worry about mistakes. This is a safe space to learn.
We read every single comment. Your stories from around the world inspire us and remind us why we do this.
And remember, learning a language is an emotional journey in itself. Some days you'll feel frustrated, other days you'll feel elated. All of it is part of the process.
Be kind to yourself. You're doing something incredibly difficult and brave by learning to express your heart in a new language.
Thank you so much for being here with us today. If you found this valuable, please like and subscribe to English Speaking Nerds. It helps us reach more learners like you.
Until next time, keep feeling, keep expressing, and keep growing.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.